My wife is an extreme germaphobe like next level obsessive. We've been married for 3 years now. She acts like anything I touch is contaminated, treating me like I'm covered in dirt. But yesterday I saw something with my own eyes that I never thought possible. I watched her eat half a bowl of leftovers belonging to her male assistant. I didn't cause a scene or call her out on the spot. Instead, the next day I treated her entire office to a massive, expensive feast. When the party was wrapping up, I stood there in front of everyone and dumped all the table scraps into her bowl. I ordered her to finish it all, every single grain, right then and there. I told her, eat it or we're getting a divorce. Earlier that afternoon, my wife had called me out of the blue. She said she had to work overtime and wouldn't be home to have dinner with me. Right then, my best friend hit me up, so we decided to head out for some hot pot. As we walked past a restaurant, my buddy pointed to a table right by the window. "Hey, isn't that your wife over there?" he asked. I looked closely, and even though it was just a silhouette from the back, I knew it was her instantly. That was definitely Tu Uyen Thane, and the guy sitting across from her was her new junior assistant. He'd been with the company for less than a month, a guy named Tran Vu. He was sitting there with a worried look staring at a half-eaten bowl of egg-fried rice. The next second, Uyen Thane just picked up that bowl without hesitating. She put her head down and finished every single last grain. I just stood there completely frozen in shock. Uyen Thane is supposed to have a severe case of germophobia. For 3 years, we've always eaten separately and used our own sets of utensils. There was this one time I forgot and used my chopsticks to put a piece of fish on her plate. Right in front of my face, she threw her entire bowl of rice and that plate of fish into the trash. Even during our most intimate moments, she'd insist on multiple layers of protection. That's the reason we still don't have any children after 3 years of marriage. And yet here she was happily eating another man's leftovers. I pushed the door open and walked straight in. I stared her dead in the eyes, gave a cold smile, and asked, "Does it taste good?" That tender look in Uyen Thane's eyes instantly shattered into pure raw panic. That's the reason we still don't have any children after 3 years of marriage. And yet here she was, happily eating another man's leftovers. I pushed the door open and walked straight in. I just stood there staring her down. Then I smiled and asked, "Is it delicious?" That gentle, loving look in Uyen Thane's eyes instantly turned into total terror. I walked into the restaurant and kept my eyes locked on her. Then I asked with a smirk, "Enjoying your meal?" The soft expression on Uyen Thane's face immediately switched to a look of sheer desperation. Tran Vu couldn't finish his food. There was so much left over. I was afraid of wasting it, so I helped him eat it. Don't get the wrong idea. I just smiled calmly. "Weren't you supposed to be working overtime today? How'd you finish so fast?" There was a last-minute change in the project, so it wasn't as urgent anymore. Before Tu Uyen Thane could finish, Lotak suddenly cut in. "Hey, Mr. Liu, have you ever had a job?" These kinds of last-minute changes happen all the time on projects. I glanced at Tran Vu next to her. I asked him, "What are you sticking your nose in for?" Tran Vu suddenly put on a wounded expression. Tu Uyen Thane quickly grabbed my hand. "I was just taking him out for a meal. We're all colleagues here, don't scare him." Tran Vu gently tugged on Tu Uyen Thane's sleeve. "Can you take me home? It's really hard to get a taxi this late." Tu Uyen Thane looked at me. "Honey, you're not mad, are you? How about I take Tran Vu home first?" I didn't object. I even smiled and replied, "Go ahead." Tu Uyen Thane immediately took Tran Vu, turned around, and walked away quickly without a single glance back. I acted like nothing had happened, and continued eating with my friend. The next day, just before quitting time, I walked straight into the CEO's office area. "Everyone stop what you're doing. We're leaving early today. I'm treating everyone to a big dinner." Everyone just stared blankly. No one moved a muscle until Tu Uyen Thane said, "All right, everyone, time to clock out." Only then did people put down their work and follow me to the restaurant. The meal was very cheerful. I waited until the last person put down their chopsticks. Then I spoke up. "Has everyone had enough to eat?" They all said they were full. I then called a waiter to bring a large bowl and place it in front of Tu Uyen Thane. Then I stood up and collected all the leftover rice, the dregs of soup from everyone's bowls, and poured it all into the large bowl in front of Tu Uyen Thane. She stared at me completely baffled. I smiled at her. "Go on, eat up. Aren't you the one who hates to waste things?" "Oh, you're afraid of wasting food. In that case, finish your colleagues' leftovers." Inside the CEO's office, the atmosphere in the private room suddenly turned ice cold. Tu Uyen Thane's face darkened. "Eat it, I'm already full." I cut her off before she could explain, snapping at her. "I don't care. You're not leaving this room until you finish every last bite in that bowl." Tran Vu shot to his feet. "Are you insane? For 3 years, you've been a stay-at-home husband pinching every penny on every purchase. You're completely dependent on CEO too. And now you're blowing this out of proportion just to humiliate her like this. You're absolutely shameless. Just look at that red furious face of yours. Come on, my dear wife, why aren't you eating? You had no problem eating Tranvu's leftovers, but you turn your nose up at another employee's. Why the double standard? Yuyan Tun looked at me, then back at the bowl of leftovers in front of her. After a moment of hesitation, she finally picked up her chopsticks and began to furiously stuff the food into her mouth. Beside her, Tranvu cried out in alarm. CEO, to please stop eating. You'll destroy your stomach doing this. Why are you even listening to him? He's just a bum who can't earn a single cent. What right does he have to order you around? Tranvu snatched the chopsticks from Yuyan Tun's hand. Don't eat anymore. He doesn't care about you, I do. So concerned for another man's wife, are we? Then why don't you eat it for her? My stomach's small, how could I possibly eat all that? Are you just trying to give me a hard time? Then shut your mouth. My face hardened as I grabbed another pair of chopsticks and handed them to Yuyan Tun. Go on, eat, isn't this what you wanted? Yuyan Tun took the chopsticks and continued to force the food into her mouth. But she couldn't swallow and she started gagging uncontrollably. Her body trembled violently until she finally couldn't take it anymore.